Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at Digital Construction with Kris from Procore. You are big in digital. Tell me, first of all, a little bit about the business, Kris, because originally from the States, lots and lots of customers there, been in this market for some time now and still growing. But what do you actually do, Kris?
Yeah, so Procore is a construction management platform built by construction people for construction people. So we are really trying to solve many of the big challenges that our customers are faced with on a job site every single day, whether that is finding information that they need to get their job done, or checking quality and safety information out on a job site, doing inspections on panels and things that they may need to put in place. But at the end of the day, what it's all really about is being able to help them be collaborative with all of the workers that are on the job site and make sure that we can avoid mistakes and rework so that we get the job done effectively and efficiently.
So when we look at construction at the moment, we see this digital change that's happening. You know, people are understanding that we have to move digitally. You know, there's a lot of transactions done now digitally. There's things like AI coming into the digital sector. But the fundamentals are all about how do we get from tender stage or pre-tender stage even to the finished job, and how can we show the clients that that has been done to the models, to the standards and the quality checks. That's really important, isn't it? You're not just a standalone space, you're quite a collaborative space as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we are very much a collaborative space, and we are there from the very ideation of a project all the way through turnover. So if you think about all the things that happen on a construction project, whether that is doing a takeoff to get ready for a tender, doing design and document reviews and providing feedback to the teams, then actually going out and doing pre-planning for those projects to get ready to go build, all of those things can be tracked and collaborated on inside of the platform. And why that's so important is we're building this digital record of the entire project just by doing the things that you do every day on a job site, but leveraging your iPhone or an Android device to do that digitally, right? Now, where it gets really excited with things like AI and some of the technology that's coming out is how we can now automate so many of those processes. Our customers have told us that they spend just about 20% of their week just looking for information.
Really?
20%. Imagine we can just reduce that down even to 10%. That's one day a week. We can give 4 to 8 hours back to employees that can get onto the decision-making part of their business and spend less time just going out and looking for stuff.
And I think what you said there is really important, because when you talk about job creation in construction, we've now got digital analysts, digital scientists coming into this space, but we've also got people that have had quite mundane tasks. Taking those away allows them to focus on the quality elements and the more technical and difficult spaces to actually make sure that the project is on or under budget, or within the project time frame as well, isn't it? So if you're not messing around with spreadsheets and things like that, if you can have these sort of secret digital helpers underneath you that are doing that work for you, that makes it more accessible, doesn't it? And this sort of dashboard approach really makes the data important and accessible for the different people that need the right types of information.
Builders love to build. That's why we came into this space. We don't love to fill out forms and build spreadsheets and do paperwork. That's not why we came into construction. We like to solve problems. And so we want to get people back to doing the things that they love by making it easier to do the things they have to do better. And then the other part of that you pulled on there was what they can do with the data and the information. Now that we've digitized so much of the process, we now have so much more information to guide us on the right decisions to make for the business, to minimize the risk, to have a better understanding when we look across an entire portfolio. And this is where executives get really excited, because they're like, I can now have so much more transparency into what's happening across all of these projects. Now, I was out on a project 2 weeks ago in Birmingham with one of our customers, Windic, and I got really, really excited because they were also engaging the next generation.
Right.
They were bringing the apprentices and the first years together. And these folks were so excited because they use technology every day.
Well, they're digital natives, aren't they? You know, literally, they're connected all the time.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But they gave each one of them a project, a thing to work on that was bringing a new technology into the business. So whether that was using HP's site print robot,
Yeah,
the
I've
layout,
seen it. That's great.
super cool.
Fantastic. Yeah.
They had a robotic crane control system.
Yeah.
The co-pilot or the Skyline cockpit, which by the way, I got a chance to sit in. I got super excited.
That is really cool.
I had not seen that
like
before.
that. Yeah.
They were using Gamma AR to do quality control with comparisons against the BIM model. But all of this work was being engaged with the next generation. Now, those who had been on the job site 30 plus years were also there guiding them on how to do the building part.
Exactly.
And that's what's so important is this bi-directional mentorship is happening.
Yeah.
Which is pulling a new generation of construction folks into the industry because of getting a lot of excitement.
So give me some examples. You know, we talk about,
Yeah.
we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. What are some practical examples that you've come across recently as where people are able to do things better and the impact that has had?
Just one of the key ones is fundamental on how easy it is just to do things out in the field on a mobile app, right? We take that for granted a little bit, but you know, on that same job site, the site manager was doing inspections on panels that needed the installation for a unitized panel system. He was like, I can't imagine having to do this with a clipboard, go back to the office, email it to folks. He's like, I click approved, and now the team who's actually hoisting those panels knows which panels are ready to install right there because they can see it on their devices as well. So that's a really, really practical example of something that, you know, we all talk about mobile and accessibility, but it's real and it's there.
And it's geolocated. There's an image there of the panel. There's an image of some damage or whatever that rejects that system that goes then to the supply chain because you're a panel short. So therefore, you know, you're going to have the mute going up for another week if the panel's not going to come in. All of that process involves a lot of different people for one simple mistake or issue. Doesn't it, on site?
100%, 100%. And I was always taught, like, hey, if you find something, you document it, but you also need to document when it was corrected. So we're having this history of, like, here's the thing that was wrong. Okay, here's the photos of when we fixed it. So nobody has any questions 5 years later if there's a failure about, like, well, did we have that issue with the gasket everywhere? No, we didn't because we documented that we had all of these that were done right, and then we had it. And we're capturing so much more data out in the field now than we ever were before, because some of it's automated, but it's so much more accessible that anybody can snap a picture and document things like they couldn't before.
I think what's interesting about when you're collecting the data and you're seeing projects that have been finished and you're looking at the success elements of those projects as well is that you've got that trending data. So you can say we've done a job similar to the one we're doing now. Let's look at that job before we're in the tender process. Let's share some of that information and success with the potential client that allows you to sort of show the level of detail you can go into as a business. So therefore, proven expertise, proven project performance, but also, hey, we changed what we did there slightly. Let's pull that through the whole of the business because it works well.
Yeah, and that's so important, right? Because when we think about, hey, which jobs do we want to chase? Which work do we want? Were we profitable? Do we want to do more work with that owner or that client? And we've seen on many cases where our customers have told us after they do a project and they run a project with Procore, because we're not just for the customer who buys it. We have access for all of the collaborators that are on a project. So construction's a team sport. You've got subbies, you've got, contractors, you've got owners, you've got, other consultants that are involved. They need access to that same data. And our customers have told us, like, hey, we've done a few projects with an owner running it through Procore. They're like, they told us, like, they can't imagine doing projects any other way anymore. And there's no better impression that you can leave on a customer where they're like, we love the way you do it, we trust the way you do it, and therefore we trust you. We want you to come do more work for us.
So it is a big wide world out there of the digitalness, but we've basically talked about how that is all able to be confined and put into one system here where the data really is being used every day, so that makes it a better day the next day. So there it is, folks, at Digital Construction Week here with Procore and the big summit with the big reveals coming next week. Great to see you, Kris.
Great to see you.